There are signals that solve riddles, signals that validate long-held theories. And then there are signals that shatter everything. Signals that cause scientists to stop mid-thought, lock their eyes on glowing monitors, and silently wonder whether humanity has crossed a boundary it was never meant to approach. Voyager 2, drifting alone through the vacuum of deep space for over 46 years, has just delivered one of those signals. What arrived through the Deep Space Network this time was nothing like the familiar plasma murmurs, solar echoes, or interstellar shocks detected before. This transmission contained patterns, structured, layered, rhythmic pulses, hidden inside the faintest whisper of radio energy, traveling more than 12 billion miles through emptiness. What makes this worse is the timing. The signal came after Voyager 2 went silent for 7 months. After NASA realigned its antenna against overwhelming odds. After every onboard instrument had been pushed far beyond its intended lifespan. It arrived when Voyager should have been quiet. It came from a region where no spacecraft has ever remained stable. From a place where the sun's influence collapses and the galaxy's raw environment begins. And the tone from the mission team tells the story. Voyager 2 didn't just transmit data. It sent something that feels like a warning, a whisper, or a message carried by deep space itself. Tonight, we journey from the birth of the twin probes to the exact moment this new transmission reached Earth. And we uncover why a single fragment of radio energy has left NASA shaken, fascinated, and unable to explain what Voyager 2 has truly encountered. Before understanding the signal, we must understand the machine that sent it. And that story begins with an alignment so rare it occurs only once every 176 years. In 1965, when spaceflight was still more dream than discipline, graduate student Gary Flandreau, armed with little more than a pencil and instinct, identified a cosmic configuration that would alter human history. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune were slowly arranging themselves into a perfect gravitational staircase. A formation that would allow a spacecraft to leap from planet to planet using gravity as celestial slingshots. This alignment could compress a 30-year journey into just 12. When NASA grasped the significance of Flandreau's discovery, the agency shifted its entire strategy and quietly began building 2 machines designed to ride that once-in-a-lifetime corridor straight out of the solar system. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 were born from that cosmic window, engineered to climb gravity like a ladder and reach worlds no human eyes had ever seen. What no one realized then was that this same alignment also placed the probes on trajectories that would carry them deep into interstellar space, into regions where the sun's dominance collapses and only the galaxy remains. The alignment that made the Grand Tour possible also made this transmission possible. Voyager 2 launched on August 20th, 1977. A modest-looking craft wrapped in gold insulation, powered by plutonium heat, guided by computers weaker than a modern digital watch. Yet it became one of the greatest explorers humanity has ever built. It endured Jupiter's radiation storms, survived Saturn's rings, crossed the frozen wastelands of Uranus, and it became the only spacecraft ever to visit Neptune, gliding past its sapphire atmosphere as the great dark spot churned beneath blue methane clouds. Along the way, Voyager 2 discovered moons, rings, volcanoes, nitrogen geysers, extreme winds, and mysteries astrophysicists still struggle to explain. Then, as its cameras shut down and its final images were stored on aging tape, Voyager 2 crossed the boundary where the solar system ends, the heliopause, and entered interstellar space. Since then, it has whispered signals across distances so vast they take 18 hours to reach Earth. But the journey did not end there. As Voyager drifted farther, its power declined. NASA shut down heaters, powered off instruments, sacrificed system after system just to keep it alive. Still, in 2020, Voyager 2 vanished. 7 months of silence. When contact was finally restored, the spacecraft behaved strangely. Its data conflicted. Its orientation appeared corrected, and the first anomalies emerged, anomalies now resurfacing in this new transmission. Voyager 2 didn't just visit planets. It rewrote science. At Jupiter, it revealed storms larger than Earth and lightning ripping through alien skies. It captured Io erupting with volcanic fire, the first active volcanoes ever seen beyond our world. At Saturn, it survived a barrage of icy debris and revealed Titan's thick atmosphere. At Uranus, it discovered rings, moons, and a tilted magnetic field shaped by ancient violence. At Neptune, it encountered 1,000-mile-per-hour winds, continent-scale storms, and Triton's nitrogen geysers erupting miles high. These encounters revealed a solar system alive with chaos and complexity. But they taught NASA something else. The farther you go, the stranger physics becomes. Once Voyager 2 crossed the heliopause, plasma, magnetic fields, and particle densities behaved in ways scientists never anticipated. And now, decades later, those same regions appear tied to the unexpected transmission. Before the cameras went dark forever, Carl Sagan convinced NASA to turn Voyager 1 back for one final portrait. A mosaic of the inner solar system from 3.8 billion miles away. One frame held our entire world, a tiny dot suspended in sunlight. The pale blue dot. An image that reshaped philosophy and identity. After that, the Voyagers became blind, but not silent. They continued sending binary whispers, cosmic rays, plasma density, magnetic fields, signs of interstellar space itself. Yet as years passed, those signals grew harder to interpret. Instruments weakened. Errors increased. Manuals from the 1970s became lifelines. Then, nearly half a century into the journey, Voyager 2 began transmitting something unexplainable, a repeating structure, a faint rhythmic hum, measurements that matched no known plasma behavior. At first, it seemed like a glitch. Then it returned. Then it strengthened. And in the most recent transmission, something entirely new appeared, something NASA cannot classify. Beyond Neptune, Voyager approached the heliopause, the sun's final frontier. Models predicted a gentle fade. Voyager found chaos. Pressure waves slammed into the craft. Particles surged unpredictably. Magnetic fields twisted violently. Plasma density spiked beyond belief. Humanity tasted raw interstellar space. But the most unsettling detail came later. Voyager 2's crossing didn't match Voyager 1's. The boundary was sharper, thinner, more active, as if something had disturbed it. And now, scientists are reconsidering whether Voyager 2 crossed more than a border, whether it entered something else's domain. Beyond the heliosphere, Voyager encountered a hum, a low-frequency vibration echoing through plasma, too steady to be noise, too precise to be natural. It pulsed, shifted, responded, almost like an engine idling in darkness. As Voyager traveled deeper, the hum grew clearer. And in the latest transmission, it changed dramatically, as if something awakened. Then came the 7-month blackout, officially blamed on antenna misalignment, unofficially questioned, because when Voyager returned, its data was altered, its orientation corrected, without commands. Systems too degraded to function had somehow held course, and the anomalies intensified. Magnetic field lines bent like a wake behind a ship. Plasma behaved as if displaced by motion. Patterns too clean, too symmetrical, too sustained to be random. Internally, engineers acknowledged the possibility Voyager 2 passed near something massive, something moving. Then came the oscillations. Perfect intervals. Harmonics resembling code. Some synchronized with Voyager's transmissions. Others changed in response. One harmonic matched Voyager's own rhythm, as if something had learned its heartbeat. Before the latest transmission, engineers noticed a brief surge in signal stability, a boost that should have been impossible. Yet Voyager behaved as if rejuvenated, just long enough to send the strangest signal of its life. When the data arrived, engineers expected weakness. Instead, they found strength. Sharp carrier tones, embedded sequences, intentional gaps, silences spaced like headers in a digital file. A repeating 3.2-minute cycle, the same rhythm Voyager uses. Some pulses didn't originate from Voyager at all. Doppler analysis revealed movement, controlled movement, deliberate repositioning, a maneuver, a wake, something with mass adjusting its position near the probe. The deeper analysts looked, the clearer it became. The probe was not alone. In the final moments, a signal echoed Voyager's own, with enhancements. Not reflection, not noise. A reply. Structured, deliberate, complete. When all data was aligned, NASA faced the unthinkable. Voyager 2 didn't just transmit data. It transmitted evidence of contact. Something moved. Something responded. Something communicated. Now the transmission is no longer a mystery. It is a message, and humanity must decide what happens next. So what caused it? Do we respond? Do we wait? If this discovery unsettled you as deeply as it unsettled NASA, don't disappear into the silence. Subscribe, because what comes next may redefine our place in the universe. Like this video so others understand the gravity of what has happened. And tell me in the comments, was this a greeting, a warning, or the beginning of something far larger than we're ready for? The mission team did not celebrate. There were no cheers. No press releases drafted in excitement. There was silence. Because once every data stream was aligned, magnetic fields, plasma density, Doppler shifts, carrier tones, the conclusion stopped being speculative. Voyager 2 did not malfunction. It did not hallucinate. It did not degrade into noise. It interacted. Something moved near it. Something responded to it. And something chose the moment to be noticed. This wasn't random turbulence. It wasn't cosmic static. It wasn't a dying probe misfiring in the dark. The structure was too precise. The timing too deliberate. The symmetry too clean. Interstellar space is not supposed to behave this way. And yet, the evidence remains. A machine built in the 1970s, older than most of the engineers now studying it, was acknowledged by something that understood its rhythm, mirrored its cadence, and replied using its own language. Not words, not images, but timing, silence, structure. That is what makes this different from every anomaly before it. Voyager 2 didn't just send information outward. Something answered. And now, for the first time since humanity lit its earliest fires and looked toward the stars, the question is no longer are we alone? The question is, have we been observed for a very long time? Because whatever responded did not announce itself loudly. It didn't arrive in light or flame. It didn't interrupt the probe. It waited. It studied. And when Voyager reached the right place, at the right time, when no one expected anything at all, it spoke. So now we stand at a threshold we never planned for. Do we answer back? Do we remain silent? Or was that silence already broken decades ago, the moment Voyager began whispering into the dark? If this transmission unsettled you, if it made you pause, or feel watched, or question how small we truly are, then stay here. Because what happens next will not unfold loudly. It will unfold quietly, in patterns, in timing, just like this. Subscribe, because the story doesn't end with Voyager 2. Like this video so others understand what just crossed our horizon. And tell me in the comments, was this a greeting, a warning, or the first reply to a signal we sent without realizing it?